RBT family, what is the deal? It's your dog Willie Jack, and we are back, baby, back with more NFL action. How y'all doing, man? How y'all doing? How you feeling? It's been a while. It's been a while, man. I tell you, I can't remember the last time I went this long without streaming, you know what I'm saying, doing the show. So it definitely feels like it's been forever for me, man. I don't know how y'all feel, but I missed y'all, man. I missed y'all. We've had a ton of exciting football. We've got still tons more exciting football to talk about today. And what better place to do it than to tap in with your boy, tap in with your dog, get in here, get real comfortable, and let's have a good time, man. Let's have a good time. Let's see. Oh, okay, a couple early birds already in the chat. What's going on? My dog Keandre, man. What's up, bro? Good morning to the good people. What's going on? Says a good morning to be a chef. It's all good. Hey, big kingdom business. Hey, man. Hey, y'all did that, man. Y'all did that, bro. I can't say nothing about it, dog. I can't say nothing about it, man. I can't. Hey, I can't lie about it, man. I can't run from it. I wouldn't do it even if I could, man. Hey, sometimes it be like that, bro. I gotta tell you, I take my W's and my L's on the chin, dog. Y'all went out there and handle business, bro. Y'all went out there and handle business. I tell you what, though, boy, we might have brought the best out of y'all. Y'all ain't looked that good in a while, boy. Y'all ain't looked that good in a while. Yeah. But nah, y'all definitely came out there and did the damn thing, man. I tell y'all what, man, y'all did the damn thing. Let's see. Mon Duke's in the building. What's going on? Happy Sunday. Good morning. Have a blessed show. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. My dog RTC in the building as well. What's going on? What's going on? I said this homeboy doing them all day streams. Hey, man, I don't know how they do it. I don't know how they do it, man. Them all-nighters and 10, 12, 20 plus hour streams, man. Hey, they better than me, man. I ain't got it in me. But now, as we get into today's show, now, mind you, since we last talked, it's been, a week and a half? We've had damn near, it feels like we've had 8, 10 games, maybe since we talked. So we got a lot of stuff to catch up on. Before we do, man, let's kind of break it in a little bit. Now, of course, y'all know it's Sunday. Here on the Sunday show, we like to do a little bit of a college football spotlight. Now, bear with me. All of y'all might not be college fans, but you know, I enjoy the college game, especially the scouting aspect for the draft. And so we got some news to talk about. So the biggest thing I want to talk about today for sure, if you're aware, if you watched or tuned in, or if you're not aware, Cam Ward, highly touted quarterback prospect from Miami. He's widely considered to be in the race for the number 1 quarterback drafted in this upcoming draft. Him and Shedeur Sanders, of course. So Miami plays their bowl game against Iowa State. And actually, it was an entertaining game, back and forth game, a lot of points scored, not a lot of defense. Iowa State ends up winning that game 42-41. But the news from that game is that Cam Ward, he only played the first half of this game, and so he plays the first half, has a very productive first half. He goes 12 for 19, 190 yards, 3 touchdowns, and no interceptions in one half of football. And then he, I guess, pulls himself from the second half of that game and does not play the second half. Now, surprisingly enough, Miami still kept pacing this game. I mean, like I said, they finished this game losing by 1 point, 42-41. Iowa State was a very successful team in the Big 12 this year. They're ranked in the top 20. And so this is a very good matchup. The backup quarterback, I want to say, is Imani Williams. Emory Williams, maybe? I can't think of his first name. He goes 5 for 14, 26 yards, no touchdowns, and 1 interception. So they were pretty much inept at the quarterback position once Cam Ward left the game. But the team itself, remained competitive. Like I said, it went down essentially to the wire. The running game, really, for Miami was really lights out. Damian Martinez went crazy, 14 for 179 and a long 75-yard touchdown. The other running back, is it Fletcher? I want to say he had roughly like 80 or so yards or so. So it's a big rushing day for Miami. But this is what I want to talk about. I want to get y'all thoughts on it. And while I fill y'all in case you wasn't aware, I'll give my thoughts on it. But I see this. There's been a lot of back and forth about the incident. Was he foul? Was he shady? Was he a hoe? Was he justified? Was it warranted? There's been a lot of things to talk about, and then depending on how you feel about it. So I'll play devil's advocate. Let's say for both. When I first, because I was watching that game, I actually only watched the first half because then I had to tune into the Bengals and Broncos game. So I really only kept up with the first half, and then especially once I figured out that Cam Ward wasn't coming back in the game, I wanted to see him specifically. I didn't worry about going back and forth anymore. So anyway, my first impulse when I first heard it was like, man, that's weak, dog. I don't like it. I don't like it. But then I had to sit back and kind of think about it a little more. And I'm like, okay, well, the thing about it is, and for any of these top prospects, this is the guy who's projected to go in the top 5 of this draft. You know what I mean? Arguably the first or at worst the second quarterback we see drafted, unless there's a crazy surprise. You know what I'm saying? Which could happen, but still. So the risk versus reward for the scenario of him playing this game at all, whether it be one half, two halves, or nothing at all, the risk versus reward is extremely, extremely skewed towards risk. Because outside of, the pride of, winning the game, your last collegiate game, your last time, one last win with your homeboys, the glitter and the sparkle is worn off of the average bowl game. And so it not being a playoff game, it not being a chance for a national championship, then I have to sit back and really ask myself, like, there's no, at this point, he's got to weigh, what, $25-ish million guaranteed in this April's upcoming draft, because he's projected going as a top 5 pick, possibly the first or second quarterback. So let's say that money, if he's the number 1 pick to the Giants, let's say that's $25 million fully guaranteed as a first round draft pick, number 1 in the draft. Weighing that, the risk versus reward of risking that versus a W in the Pop-Tart Bowl. The Pop-Tart Bowl. You heard that, right? The Pop-Tart Bowl. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I feel him. He didn't have to be there. You know what I'm saying? And so the part about it, so I can see both sides. And then the other part of me was like, well, then don't play. Because I respect it when guys sit out. I'm not going to tell you to risk your grandchildren's future for 60 more minutes of football. You go to university 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. You know what I'm saying? Anything they gave you, you gave it back. You know what I'm saying? So I don't hate when guys sit out. You know what I mean? I don't. You gotta take care of you and your family, bro. You know what I mean? So I'm not mad at that. But then I was like, well, man, why show up then? But then I'm like, well, this is what I don't know. This is what I hope happened behind the scenes. And this is how I would like for it to have happened if I was in that locker room. I want it all to be above board. You know what I mean? I don't want to find out mid-game, mid-battle. I don't want to find out at that point, hey, man, Q's sitting down. The starting quarterback, hey, he's sitting the rest of this one out. And it just drops on us on the spot in the heat of the battle. We getting our last little pep talks before we go back out. And then it's, oh, yeah, Cam's sitting the rest of this one out. Now, that's foul. That's whole activity, period. If it was done that way. I don't know that it was done that way. Instead, I would think more realistically, this was a conversation that he probably had, for one, with the coaching staff, I would imagine. And once they got whatever, worked out some style of playing, then maybe I would hope or think that then it was addressed to the team. Like, hey, man, Cam don't have to be here. Man, he wants to be a part of this, man, one last time. He's going to go out there, give it everything he's got for one half of football and see what he can get done. And then he's got to protect his future. You know what I'm saying? I feel better about it. I just don't want to be blindsided. You know what I'm saying? And this is reminiscent of what we just talked about a couple weeks ago with Devondre Campbell walking out on your brothers, dog, because that's real. That's serious. You know what I mean? So I'm not trying to backtrack on how I felt about Devondre Campbell, but what I'm saying is I hope there was conversation and understanding. Because if there's conversation and understanding, then it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But like I don't want to feel like the rest of the locker room got blindsided. That's the only thing that I worry about if there wasn't that conversation and understanding already established. And then also another factor in this, and as you can see on the subtitle, there, he also set the FBS touchdown record in this game in that first half. So I think Colt Brennan, I want to say from University of Hawaii or something like that had the FBS like touchdown record. I guess it was 155. And so Cam Ward was 3 touchdowns short of breaking or setting that record, which he did in the first half. So he goes out there for one half of football. He throws 3 touchdowns. He had a fantastic half, 190 yards on 12 completions, and 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Fantastic half of football. And he set the FBS record in his last half of football with 156 touchdown passes. So fantastic record to hold. You know what I mean? The records like that mean something depending on who the player is. Because who cared about that record when it was Cole Brennan? Now, Cam Ward going on, possibly being the first round, the number 1 pick in this upcoming draft, possibly having a fantastic career thereafter. And so that record will hold more weight because his name's behind it. But be that as it may, that's still a tremendous accomplishment. And so shout out to Cam Ward. But those are my feelings. I'm not mad about any player that decides to sit out. And I'm not even mad about him sitting out after the first half, assuming, again, that there was conversation and understanding. I just hope they didn't just leave the rest of the locker room dry. That's just what I don't like. You know what I'm saying? If the rest of the guys thought he showed up, thought he strapped up and was ready to go, we battling, you know what I mean? Because everybody don't have the future that Cam Ward does. There's guys in that locker room, it was their last time putting on a helmet. That's a hard reality, dog. If you ever been there, it's those little things like that. Man, it's the last time I'm going to wear a helmet. Last time I put these funky ass pads on. It may be the last time I wear cleats. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of guys that are going through that. And those guys, nobody wants to lose your last one at anything. You know what I'm saying? And so I just hope, again, I'm going to say it again, I just hope there was conversation and understanding with the team, with the locker room that, hey, man, Cam don't have to be here. And everybody should know, man, he ain't got to be here. He's him stepping on the field exponentially puts himself further at risk than anything else. And there's nothing that's going to trump that risk. And so the fact that he showed up and he's here, that means something, that counts for something for sure. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I just hope everything was just done above board and, and that it wasn't any whole activity of foots. But that's my personal opinion. Now, y'all got to let me know what y'all think, man. If y'all, you know what I'm saying, pay attention to it. Y'all let me know what you think, man. Let me see if I can catch up on this chat, man. Let me see if I can catch up. Oh! Hey, man, hold on, man. My dog Chance in the building, man. What's up with you, bro? He said he think it was the wrong moment. Would have rather him not played at all than quit on his team with the opportunity to win with him in. See, that's my initial reaction, too. Like, bruh, if you ain't gonna, like, don't play. Like, be in or out. Ain't no halfway, ain't no such thing as halfway crooks, man. You riding or not, man? You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't be halfway in. So I dig that too. I feel that too. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I hope there was a conversation where everybody was in on it. Because if he just walked off, then that's foul. That's weak. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's weak. That really is. Now, whether or not it's going to affect his draft stock, not at all. It's college. You know what I'm saying? Like, can he hit? Can he throw a 40-yard seam? You know what I'm saying? Can he split cover 2, throw a 40-yard seam with somebody breathing on his neck and we down 4 points? That's what the NFL's going to ask him about. Nobody's going to care about, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter in the grand scheme. But what you just said though, Chance, bro, like that was exactly my initial thoughts. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'd rather you not show up than walk out. Because walking out is something different. Now, not showing up, like I know what it is going in. And I can respect that. Bro, I'm not going to pay none of your bills for the next 30 years. I'm not sending your kids to college. I'm not sending your nephews to college. I'm not sending your grandkids. No, you know what I'm saying? So I dig it, bro. You got to do what you got to do. That's straight. I ain't never going to knock nobody for nothing like that. But yeah, don't show up and walk out. I hope it didn't go down like that. But no, I feel you though. That's exactly how I was feeling as well. Like when the news first hit. My dog Miles in the building, man. He said he agreed with what I was saying in the coach. And see, yeah, and that's the part that I don't know or I haven't seen. So if somebody has seen something and they got into that, like, okay, what was the conversation like with the coaching staff and with the team? You know what I'm saying? Because of course the coaches have to be aware. Because even if it's gonna happen on the moment, he's gotta go tap coach on the side, like, hey man, yeah, I'm done. Yeah, somebody has to be aware, but I would assume that I just have to assume that this was handled beforehand. at the minimum with the coaching staff. Now, I don't know if or when they would have disclosed it to the team. I assume and hope they would have. You know what I'm saying? Because if he did go to the coaching staff beforehand and then they didn't tell the team until like halftime where it's not disclosed, well, now you almost pin him in the corner as the bad guy. You know what I'm saying? Now, not to say that he couldn't have addressed it himself, but you know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. It could get it. There's ample ways that this could have got a lot get messy, but yeah, man. Those was my thoughts, man. Matter of fact, see, look, man, I'm scrolling through comments, man. Why ain't nobody tell me to put the comments on the board, man? Y'all slacking. Somebody slipping on they pimping. Somebody slipping, man. I'm gonna catch up in this chat though, man. Real quick. I see a couple of the members that got in the building as well. Anyway, shout out to my dog Miles, Keandre, RTC, my dog Chance pulled up. Mom's in the building, of course. Okay, yeah, I'm just trying to catch. Oh, here we go, Keandre. I got you. I was gonna mention this as well, man. So BYU, yeah, man. Put it on Colorado, dog. Put it on Colorado. It was pretty one-sided, man. It was a one-sided asshole, but it really was. But sometimes it be like that. Now here's the thing about it, man. And then watching that game, because Shadur versus Cam Ward is for all intents and purposes, that's the predominant 1-2 at the quarterback position as far as going into the draft. So depending on choose your flavor, what you like or whatever, those are the two guys you're choosing from. Let's say if you're the New York Giants. And so watching that game with Shadur, and Colorado is still building that program. So there are instances in which they're just going to be flat out overmatched. You know what I'm saying? So we've seen that happen time and again. So we know that's a very, that's not out unlikely. It's going to happen to them. Sometimes they're going to be flat out overmatched. But at the same time, man, I can't help feeling, especially in this game, like some of the worst traits about Shadur's game, I think were like exacerbated in this one, man. Holding on to the ball too long, taking bad sacks, or not manipulating the pocket well enough. You know what I'm saying? And so like these type of things. The interception he threw, you know what I mean? Like, it's just a bad ball. You know what I mean? Now the game, it can be argued that the game is out of line. You're trying to make something happen, but yet and still, man, just like I just hate seeing like those aspects of his game, because as careful as he is with the football, he doesn't have a tremendous turnover problem as far as pure interceptions go. But man, I don't know, man. There's just those are the things that worry me. And also, like I said, he's not an overly gifted, just physical athlete. You know what I mean? And so those are the things that worry me, man. And those are some of the things that were definitely on display in this game. But at the same time, like I said, man, BYU just appeared to be the better team. They just appeared to be the better team, man. And so I do wish for sure that they'd have won. I'm with you, Keandre. I want to see Prime go out on top, man, last year with his boys. You know what I'm saying? As far as how they do, Shadur went through for 200 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. Travis Hunter did what he had to do. 4 for 106, long touchdown in his last collegiate game. And so, yeah, man, I wish it could have been a better ending, but you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Sometimes it be like that. Everybody's got bigger fish to fry, man. And so, let's see. My dog RTC said he'd have moved, man. Where you move to? Oh, Michigan. Outside of Detroit. Okay. That's crazy. That's crazy. hey, you a grown man, dog. I ain't mad at it at all. I ain't mad at it. No, and I feel you, bro. That's what I'm saying. Like, bro, that's what when people want to sit out, you want to sit out the game, bro. I ain't gonna tell you not to. You a grown man, dog. You a grown man, dog. At the end of the day, you a grown man. Ain't nobody paying none of your bills, man. Ain't nobody checking on your grandma. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody gonna bind your little cousin out, man. You got to do what you got to do for you and yours, man. So I ain't mad at it. I just hope, you know what I'm saying? Like, Miles, you know what I'm talking about, man. Hey, man, the team is a brotherhood, dog. You don't just walk out though. Don't hold a group. Like, just keep it real with your dog, no matter what, man. Come on, man. It's law, man. Come on, man. What Dolph tell y'all, man? Keep it real with your dogs, no matter what. It won't always be good news, but it ain't keep it real with the good news, no matter what. It's keep it real with your dogs, no matter what, man. I ain't gonna be there this time, bro. Flat out, man. And I can respect it. That's all I'm saying. I can respect it. Let me see, man. Oh, somebody did tell me to put the chat up. I'm trying to scroll through and catch it up now. Oh, my dog Keandre getting the party started. He said he needed new NFL power records from the chat. Hey, I like that, Keandre. Somebody talk to us. Somebody talk to us, man. Somebody give us a power ranking. Man, you know what I'm saying? I'm putting together some things, man. Like you said, we got today's games, and then I've been trying to. I got some preliminary stuff. Let me see what y'all got though. Let me see what y'all got. Questionnaire came through with a power ranking for us, man. It's AFC power ranking: Chiefs, Bills, Ravens, Steelers, Chargers. I'm gonna think about it. Okay. I don't hate the list. I'm not sure. I would probably still go Bills over Chiefs. They won the head to head. You know what I'm saying? They in the same division. They won the head to head, and it's a yeah. That's a like a very relevant victory. It wasn't week 2, week 3. You know what I mean? So I still like Bills over Chiefs. You know what I'm saying? Because they win that fade. You know what I'm saying? Like yeah, they already won that fade. So I would go Bills there. Ravens 3. Ravens 3. Yeah, I like. I'm not gonna lie, man. My Steelers are in a terrible predicament, man. I'm not sure how to feel about my Steelers. I mean, yeah, we won the head to head with the Chargers. We also won the head to head with the Broncos. We split with the Ravens. We beat the Cincinnati in Cincinnati. So we've got quality wins. But then, man, those 3 games in 10 days, boy, took a toll on my Steelers. Like it was we're not playing great ball right now. We're not playing as well as I guess some of our wins or our record could maybe speak to. But I see where you was going there. Because I feel about the Chargers being behind us, it's like, well, it'd be hard for me to put them necessarily ahead of us. You know what I'm saying? We won that head to head. Now it was that one's a little different. Because that one was in the beginning of the season. It was Justin Fields instead of Russell Wilson. Both these teams are different teams now. And so honestly, if you said I was gonna say if you said Chargers over Steelers, maybe I could get on board. But at the same time, like I don't want to get too caught up because they just smacked the Patriots. You know, they smacked the Patriots. I seen, you know what I'm saying? They had some ugly losses as well at the crib. Uh that Ravens lost at the crib. I don't want to say getting lucky, but pulling out a very close one, man. When the Joe Burrow and those Bengals didn't come through after putting up 4 touchdowns in the second half. So, but I dig where you went. There. I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that. Keandre said he agrees with that 100%. I'm sure you do. Chiefs is in the first spot. It could have said Fulton Middle School at number 2. It wouldn't have mattered. Chiefs is at the number 1 spot. You was good. Let's see my dog NFL questionnaire got in the NFC, man. Lions, Vikings, Packers, Eagles without Hurts, Commanders. I like that caveat, NFL questionnaire. I like that caveat. Eagles are definitely lost him last week to concussion. He didn't clear protocol. Kenny Pickett's going to start today in a who they play today? Well, we'll get to it. But Kenny Pickett's definitely going to get the start today. So I do like that caveat. Let me look at the list. Lions, Vikings, Packers, Eagles. And then Commanders at 5. Here's a question I would ask you, NFL questionnaire. Commanders at 5. Do you feel better about the Commanders right now than you do the Rams? Feel better about the Commanders than you do the Rams? I think that's a conversation. I think Commanders and Rams is a conversation. I think Tampa Bay had an argument to be in this mix as well prior to losing last week. But that's interesting as well. I still like Lions at 1. Yeah, Eagles without Hurts is the tough cookie there. Eagles without Hurts is the tough cookie there because I think the Lions losing to the Bills, losing David Montgomery with a knee injury, he's out into the Super Bowl if they make it that far. The injuries just keep piling up for the Lions, and so honestly, at that point, it felt that Eagles were probably that number 1 team for me at that point. Well, then they lose Jalen Hurts early in that Washington game. Washington has 5 turnovers and still finds a way to come back and win that game as well. And so it's hard to make that argument that they would be number 1. So I do dig that. Vikings too. Not mad about that. Like I said, the Vikings have been probably the most I don't want to say flat out disrespected. They're just second. They're 11-2 or 12-2 or even 13-2 now. What's the Vikings record? Are they 13-2? You know what I'm saying? 14-2. I don't know. Crazy impressive record. And like it just still feels like we don't give them the proper kudos or credit or respect that record would warrant, especially in the NFC, man, where it's tough. And in that division. That's the toughest division in football right now. Lions, Vikings, Packers. Shit. Hey, and they 13-2, somewhere thereabouts. I mean, so definitely deserve a lot of credit. I love the placement of the Packers because I'm definitely high on Jordan Love. The Packers team. The only losses the Packers have are to the very best teams in the league. They lost to the Lions, they lost to the Vikings, they lost to the Eagles. You know what I mean? They lost to the Eagles in South America week 1, and Jordan Love got hurt that game. You know what I'm saying? So, like, they've only lost to the premium teams in the league. So, I do like what you got going on there with the Packers. And then, yeah, Eagles without Hurts. Okay. Commanders at 5. I'm still thinking about that, man. There's a part of me that thinks maybe we should at least discuss the Rams. Say Eagles and Washington can switch. I assume that's because of where things are right now with Jalen Hurts. Now, here's the thing about it. Hold on. Here's the thing about it. I'm going to pull that back up. I was just talking to my dog Chop last night, matter of fact. We were talking about, and we're going to get into this. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and pull it up. I was just talking to my dog Chop last night, man. And the reason it's relevant is because we were kind of talking about the MVP race. So Lamar versus Josh versus enter Joe Burrow or return of Joe Burrow. You know what I'm saying? So where do these things fall? So for me, I still have the MVP race as I lined it out. I still got Lamar 1. I think there's definitely an argument for Burrow, and I was on the Burrow wagon as well. But you got to put them in the bank, man. You got to get wins. And there was they were 4-8 at a time in this season. Now they've rallied and they're making great plays and being phenomenal, but it is what it is. I don't know. I've got Lamar, Josh. Then I think it's Lamar. I've got Lamar. Then I've got Josh. Then I don't know, man. I think Lamar and Josh for me are comfortably 1-2. And then I think we got Joe Burrow has jumped back over Saquon in my mind. But how do y'all feel about that? Now, the reason I asked that is because Saquon, up until maybe 2 weeks ago, Saquon had built a lot of MVP hype, or there was a lot of MVP talk behind Saquon. But see, the reason why I cooled off or backed off on that is I don't like that the Eagles lost that game to Washington with the MVP on your team. The MVP, that's a game we win with the MVP. The MVP rises above that. Yeah, you lost Jalen Hurts. People have been riding Jalen Hurts all year, so don't tell me how critical it was when y'all been kicking Jalen Hurts' ass all year. You know what I mean? And so that is what it is. But it was a 2-score lead. Saquon had 100 yards in the first quarter of that game, and they had a 2-score lead when Justin Hurts left. Washington turns the ball over five times in that game. I like to think with the MVP on our team, that's a game we still put away and win. That's my feeling. Saquon finishes that game with 148 yards, 149 yards. 45 of them came in the last 3 quarters of the game. So that's why I was like, I can't. It's hard for me to argue the guy's the MVP when I don't know, just the way that played out. Now that's one specific moment, one specific game, so to say, and so not to just. I don't want to be overly critical, but this MVP race is heating up to the point in the people involved. It's the complete opposite of last year. There's legitimate options, and these guys are flat out balling. So we have to comb through it and evaluate it with a harsher critique or a more fine-tooth comb because everybody who's in mention is playing their ass off. Joe Burrow is playing his ass off. Lamar Jackson is playing his ass off. Josh Allen playing his ass off. Now, he did come off an ugly one against the Patriots. He did. I'm not going to look past what he did in Detroit and on the road at the Rams. Y'all crazy as hell. Beating Kansas City. Y'all crazy as hell. So I'm not going to, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to overdo it the other way. But, you know what I'm saying? So, like, with these guys playing at such a high, phenomenal level, there is no room. There is no room for that. That was the time. If anything, Saquon, that was the time for Saquon to cement his case, to throw his hat into that tier 1 ring of MP of candidates. You know what I'm saying? He didn't. He didn't. That's just my opinion. He didn't. You know what I mean? And so maybe I could be a little more lenient if there wasn't such phenomenal other candidates. You know what I'm saying? So I can't give him no slack when everybody else is still playing their ass off. I think that week that Saquon got shut down for 3 quarters, Lamar had 5 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. That's the week Josh Allen beat Detroit in Detroit. 4 touchdowns on the road in Detroit. That's that week that you did that, Saquon. Hey, man, bad timing, big dog. You know what I'm saying? I can't. I had to, you know what I'm saying? He had to lose a little steam. At least as far as the MVP consideration goes for myself. Season's not over, but I think he was gaining momentum. I think he had 2 steps forward. He just took a step back. And especially now with Joe coming on the strong. Well, Joe's been lighting it up for the bulk of this season anyway, but now they're getting wins. Because you can't do one without the other. You can't be the MVP of the league and the team is 4-8. I don't give a damn what you do. You cannot be the MVP of the league and your team is 4-8. But now that the team's 8-8, right? Now that the team is 1 game from the playoffs, we can talk about it. He's playing his ass off. I still don't put him above Lamar. Playing his ass off. And I don't put him above Josh either. I don't. I'm not going to fault those guys for winning games. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to fault those guys for winning games. Let me see. Oh, man, I'm behind on my chat again, man. See, look, I'm in here running my mouth, man. Catch up on my chat. Oh, Creeko the Slate in the building, man. What's up, man? He said, shout out to the Raiders, best Christmas gift of all time, that number 1 pick. Yeah, I don't know what the Raiders got going on, man. The Raiders pulled a Houston Texans. Antonio Pierce is getting his Lovie Smith on. He's like, look, the writing's on the wall. I'm not coming back. I don't give a damn about that number 1 pick next year. It's not my pick. You know what I'm saying? It's not my pick. I'm not worried about it. Lovie went out there, won a game, and maybe it was for the best, or at the time we thought it was for the best because we seen that first year of Bryce Young and that first year of CJ Stroud. And now they switch places. Now this second year, this second half of a second year of Bryce Young versus this second year of CJ Stroud. And so now they it's not quite even. They didn't quite break even. CJ Stroud still, that first year still trumps what we've seen from Bryce Young, but he has regressed substantially for sure. But then also we've seen vast improvement from Bryce Young over this, like I said, the second half of this season since getting benched. But nah, Antonio Pierce and the Raiders, yeah, I feel you there. First pick be damned. If I'm not making the pick, I ain't worried about it. They went out there, won a game, and I think they had dropped to at the time, they had dropped to the 6th or 7th spot from number 1. Now, I think since then, I've seen that there, with some other games that played out the way they have, the Raiders are back up to pick number 4, I want to say. But nah, man, I feel you there. I feel you there for sure. RTC said he just realized Daniel Jones ain't got it. Boy, you was late. You late to that party. My dog Chance came back. He said, even without how things transpired, he thinks Cam goes to New York and Shedeur goes to Vegas. I thought the same. I just think the fit's better for Cam in New York. So I agree with that. Like, regardless of which team has the first pick, I like Cam Ward in New York better. And honestly, it's because I think Cam Ward, I do think he's a better athlete, just better pure athlete, and he's got a stronger arm. And now raw arm strength doesn't always matter, but in a stadium like New York, it does. That East Rutherford, New Jersey stadium is outside, it's cold, it's windy. So you need a little, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You gotta have a little something in the chamber, man. You gotta have a little something. You gotta have a little something to cut through that wind. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just think his athleticism plus his arm strength, I think it's I think it sways me, man, between the two of them. I think there's things that Shadur does better than Cam Ward for sure, but I do think there's parts of Cam Ward's game that are better than Shadur, and I think it just lines up better with him going to New York. But I agree completely though. I love the thought of Shadur in Las Vegas. For one, it's warm, you know what I'm saying, and it's a dome, and it's a new, it's an old fan base, but it's in a new place. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just feels, the Raiders themselves have always had the stigma, or like they've always carried an air of like against the grain, rebellious even. You know what I'm saying? Like, we do what we want to do. We march to the beat of our own drum. And when I think of like that mantra, I'm like, well, who embodies that? Man, that's Shadur. That's Coach Prime. You know what I'm saying? That's the Sanders boys all day long. And you can't tell us nothing, man. We do what we want to do. You know what I'm saying? We do what we want to do out here. We show up and play ball, man, but we do it our way. You know what I mean? So like that just fits the Raider mantra or prestige to me. It really does, man. So I really just like the feel of Shadur with the Raiders and Cam Ward with the Giants. So I agree. I agree completely. I agree completely. RTC talk about, oh, hey man, hey, I I don't even watch basketball anymore until after All-Star break. I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't gonna lie to you. RTC said he likes the Power Rankings, but he would switch the Bills and the Chiefs. That's the same thing I said. Especially like I said, they just won that head to head. You know what I mean? Relatively recently. My dog Chance said he needs to work on his elusiveness and acceleration, working towards being a dual threat. Everything else is there. Not assume he's talking about Shadur. And so yeah, and well, here's the thing, like he is what he is at this point. Like, I don't know if he can, I don't know how much more elusive he can get, especially like with being elusive. You know what I'm saying? Like, now he can train, maybe he can get a little quicker as far as acceleration goes, but elusiveness, just making somebody miss, you know what I'm saying? That's freeze tag. You know what I mean? Sometimes you got it and sometimes you don't. You know what I mean? I don't know if Shadur and them got to play freeze tag growing up, man. I don't know if they play freeze tag in gated communities. You know what I mean? I don't know. Hey, they ain't run around the back of Mac Bang, man. They ain't did none of that. But no, I definitely, that BYU game, and it shows in a lot of his games because the offensive line that first year for sure shambles, and so a lot of the extra sacks or doing what you got to do to just keep plays alive because you're so undermanned. That first year, yeah. This second year, man, I feel like that offensive line has made some terrific improvements. Jordan Seaton, the left tackle, he's going to be a top 10 pick when he comes out. At the rate he's going, he was a 5-star prospect coming in. You know what I'm saying? They got another Hall coming in to play right tackle. They switched him from USC. Juju Lewis coming there as well. So the future's bright for Colorado now. But I'm not gonna lie, man. Some of the a lot more of these this year are on Shadur, and I can't give him that same leeway that I gave him that first year. Because like at this point, bro, like nah, man, we even the sack he took in this BYU game that knocked them out of field goal range, dog, we can't do that. We're down. I think they were down. Was it 14-0 or 17-0? They're inside the red zone for maybe it was the first time inside the red zone all day. It's like 14 or 17-0. We need this touchdown for one. Now, if we don't get the touchdown, we can't take a 23-yard sack. Now it's 4th and 26. Now the kicker's got to come in and try to make a damn near career long. It was only a 48-yard kick. Or maybe it was a 46-yard kick, but his career long is 48. So he's touching his career long. He doesn't have no, you know what I'm saying? So like, and he misses that. So you know what I'm saying? And we lost damn near 30 yards on the play before that. A bad sack. Well, I don't even want to say a bad sack. He got blitzed. No, the left tackle was a half step behind the edge rusher right there. But you can't keep drifting back and then even try to think you're gonna boot and get around them left. You got to step up. That's what I want to see more for Shadur. I'm glad you talked it out of me, Chance. That's what I need to see more. I want to see more pocket manipulation. I'm not even worried about him being elusive and being able to run away. I want to see him move better in the pocket because when he does buy himself time, he can throw some darts downfield now. You know what I'm saying? He can buy time, and if somebody gets open, he can put it on him. But just as often as that happens, or more often than not, it's a terrible sack. A sack that costs us 20 yards, a sack that takes us out of scoring position. You know what I mean? And those are the things I want to see him work on. Because I'm not worried about him getting any faster or more elusive, because everybody ain't got that to their game. Like Shadir's just as athletic as Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes wasn't a fantastic athlete. If you like time him, how high does he jump? How fast does he run? If we just talk just raw athleticism, Shadir's probably comparable. You know what I'm saying? But the way you move and manipulate the pocket is what, you know what I'm saying, is the difference. I'm late in the chat, man, but this is a good one for Keandre. He said the way we played the last 3 weeks, Bills over Chiefs, cut the crap. What are you talking about? The Bills had a I guess an off game against the Patriots, a division rival game. You know, we know how division stuff goes. But then beating Detroit in Detroit, 6 touchdowns against the Rams on the road. Now that was a loss, but still fantastic performance. And then what was that? I don't know, man. I don't know. And they beat y'all. So I don't know if these last weeks Trump, like, they haven't necessarily played bad ball. They had a rough one against the Patriots. But like, I mean, it's just a division game, man. That's gonna happen. It's gonna happen sometime. Let me see. Oh, RTC said Pat still isn't better than Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, and Lamar. No, not this season. As far as how he's performed this season, absolutely not. I think those three are the 4 best quarterbacks that have performed this season. Now, where does Patty rank in the grand scheme of quarterbacks in the NFL? He's still in that upper room. You know what I'm saying? He's still in the upper room. We ain't taking that from him. I don't think nobody's trying to take that from him. But if we talking about this season, there's no way we can look at what Patrick Mahomes did this season and say he's played better than Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, and Lamar Jackson. RTC said he wants to see the Chargers and Steelers playoff matchup. Man, I'm not gonna lie. I'm worried about it. Man, look, the way we playing and looking right now, man. He said, RTC, he ain't been drinking. It's too early to drink, bro. I hope he ain't. Yeah, I hope he ain't been drinking. Let me see. Oh, questionnaires got another. Oh, he changed his list. Lions, Vikings, Commanders at 3, then Eagles without Hurts at 4. I don't know. I think I like the first one better. Because Hurts is out right now, but he's not out for the year. He's out this week with the concussion, but he's gonna be back. He'll be back next week, and he'll be back for the playoffs. And so, you know, I wouldn't want to go too far. I wouldn't want to go necessarily too far the other way. Because we can't forget the Commanders had a month of losing football. You know what I'm saying? Before they got back on the winning track. So I don't want us to go overdo it. And especially Commanders at 3 over the Packers. No way. No, sir. No, sir. And then Rams at 5. Yeah, so I think the Rams probably warrant some conversation. I'm not saying they got to be 5, but I think they do. The way they play, man, warrants some conversation at the very least. Guys said put the orange juice down. Said if the Lions weren't hurt, they'd probably be the top team in the league or number 2 behind the Bills. I mean, yeah, but that's been the story of the Lions all year. That's part of the thing that's been so attractive or appealing about the Lions is they've been beat up like this all year, and they've still found a way to be as dominant as they were. And so that's fantastic. Yeah, Justin went out there and had himself a day, man, against against the Patriots. What'd he do? 281 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks. Look at this guy. Look, hey, shout out to Jolly Juice, man. Hey, look at this guy. Hey, man, I can't knock it, man. Hey, like I told Keandre, man, I take my L's on my chin, man. Y'all went out there and handled y'all business, man. I can't knock it, man. I can't say nothing about it, man. Y'all went out there and handle business. Y'all went out there and handle business. Maybe if we do what we got to do coming up, maybe we get to run it back, man. Who knows? and maybe it's a different story. But y'all did what y'all had to do, man. On Christmas, y'all definitely did, man. I told Keandre, man, it looked like we probably brought the best out of y'all. Patty ain't looked that good all year. Y'all, you're welcome. Matter of fact, what you meant to say was, hey, appreciate you. Hey, you welcome, dog. Y'all welcome. Patty needed a little foot in the ass a little bit, man, to get him back going. Yeah, that's all it was. Let me see what we got going on. I'm trying to catch up in my chat. Trying to catch up. Hold on now. RTC said Dolphins and Bengals can still make the playoffs. Not both. One or the other can make the playoffs. And no. Do the Dolphins? No, I don't think the Dolphins are in. It's Bengals or Broncos because the Bengals just beat the Broncos. But I believe the Broncos aren't dead in the water. The Broncos, if the Broncos beat the Chiefs next week, if the Broncos beat the Chiefs next week, and if the Bengals lose to the Steelers next week, then the Broncos get in. Yeah. So the Broncos are still in it. Bengals are still in it. The Dolphins, I think, are out because they lost. They had to win out. And they lost. Was that last week or the week before last? But they ended up losing one of those games. They needed to win out. So I don't think the Dolphins still have a chance mathematically. RTC said it's Denver, Cincinnati, and Miami. I thought Miami was out. I thought they lost the game. I thought Miami was out. What's Miami's record? Somebody let me know. Cincinnati 8-8. Colts are 7-8. Miami 7-8. Denver's 9-7. I know if Cincinnati wins, they in. If Cincinnati loses and Denver wins, they're in. So I guess I'm assuming the Colts and the Vikings would both need to win, and then they would need both the Bengals and the Broncos to lose. Is the only way I can see that would make sense. Or they would both still have to win out, and then they would need both Cincinnati and Denver to lose. But there's still only room for one of them. And so Colts and Dolphins, the head-to-head tiebreaker, I'm not sure how that splits. RTC said Burrow or Lamar the MVP 2 weeks ago. He said Josh, but now he's got him out of the picture. Offensive Player of the Year Saquon. I don't hate that. I don't hate that at all. I don't hate that. But see, the thing about and I don't hate that. And yeah, just like you said, Josh had a stinker against the Patriots, and it's similar. It's kind of similar to what I was saying about Saquon in a sense, but the only difference is, I don't know, man. The performances, the back-to-back performances he had in LA and in Detroit, getting that win, the only team to beat the Chiefs this year. And I think that team is 13-3 or 12-3 in the hunt for the number one playoff seed. So I don't necessarily want to completely discredit him. I think that's still too much to maybe discredit. But the conversation between, I still got Lamar number one. I still got Lamar number one. Now the conversation between Burrow and Josh is probably like I would have Lamar sitting at number one. At number two, I would have Burrow and Josh. Maybe we'll see how it plays out. And then under them, then we get into Saquon. Realistically, maybe only Saquon. But I don't even think. I think. I don't know, man. This doesn't feel like unless Saquon, if Saquon breaks 2,000 yards today, which he could, I think he's 160 yards roughly from 2,000. He is 2,000 yards, then, like I said, all bets are off. And then he'll get an extra week to try to break the record. Though that type of stuff always makes me feel a little like even when Randy Moss broke Jerry Rice's single season touchdown receiving record. Jerry set that record in 12 games. It was a strike year. That was the year the league went on strike. They only played 12 games. He should have been the MVP that year. They got an MVP to freaking John Elway. John Elway's Broncos, I think, were like 7-5. But, whatever. He threw for like 2,000 yards, whatever. Jerry Rice should have been the league's first wide receiver MVP. 22 touchdowns in 12 games is goddamn ridiculous. I don't give a damn who it is, what it is. But Randy set that record with Tom Brady and the Patriots, 23. And I can't remember if we were at 16 or 17 games when that happened. I'm assuming that was still 16 games, but it took him 4 more games to do it. So I was like, yeah, it's Randy's record, but you know what I mean? And then even with, like, let's say if Saquon breaks that record, I'm not mad if he broke it, or if he would have broke it. I would have liked him to do it in 16, just because of how I feel. Like it does feel like it's a disservice to Eric Dickerson, ED. Well, he didn't get another game to make that record 2,300. But it is what it is. The same thing can be said when Eric Dickerson broke that record when O.J. Simpson set the record. There was only 14 games. So yeah, I mean we can play that game, but I'm not gonna lie. The fact that Adrian Peterson didn't get that damn record was 8 yards short. And honestly, he could have set that record. They didn't give any more carries. They had to, they had to drive. I remember watching that game vividly. But even still, man, I think Eric Dickerson came out and also said he don't want to see it broke. And I ain't mad at him because I appreciate him being real. Nobody wants their record to be broke. I don't give a damn who you are, man. I don't. And Eric Dickerson is an all-time fantastic back. And strangely enough, he oftentimes gets forgot about or not mentioned near enough as he should when we talk about all-time backs. When people talk about all-time backs, there's 3 names we talk about. Barry Sanders, Walter Payton, and Jim Brown. You know what I mean? Like those are nobody mentions Eric Dickerson. It's which is a shame. You know what I mean? And so, or we don't it feels like he comes up after you get into the conversation and it was like, man, what about ED? Now ED went crazy. You know what I mean? Like he's I don't know, man. So I don't blame him. Yeah. Oh yeah, you're right. Ready to drop the 6. I'm still behind on this chat, man. I've been talking too much, I guess. Oh man. Hey, questionnaire. You right, man. Oh, and look, and now I'm behind on the chat. Look, now we almost an hour in. And hey, you know what? We getting to the games now, dog. We getting into the games now. Oh, see, look, you say that, and then you give us something else to talk about. An overall power ranking across the league because he's got the. I'm assuming this is an overall power ranking. Oh, Bird teams rankings. Okay, yeah, nah. See, we're not gonna let this distract us. We already behind schedule. You just called me out for being behind schedule. Oh, Keandre don't want to see Shadur go to the Raiders because he be in the division with the Chiefs. Sometimes it be like that, man. Hey, Lamar went to the Ravens, bro. I feel you. I would have loved to have been able to cheer more for Lamar. He's a rat bird, man. He plays for the Ravens. I can only cheer for him so much. Oh man, look who it is, man. Long time, man. Where you been, dog? My dog, terrible Tom Walker holding it down for them Houston Texans. Texans to the Super Bowl. Boy, I tell you what. I don't know which team should be more worried, man. My Steelers or your Texans. Boy, we both having some ugly football right now, dog. We both playing ugly football right now, man. And we may play each other in the playoffs. Man. If we wind up with the 5 seed, then we'll go to Houston and play out in that wild card weekend. I tell you what, Tom. Texans Steelers wild card weekend, man. We might have to run that back, man. We might have to run that back. We might have to run that Texans Steelers game back, dog. We gotta check them dates, man. If it line up Steelers at Texans wild card weekend, man, I might need to crash on the couch, man. We might have to make that happen, bro. Question that said, what's sad is that good players go to the bad teams. Now, hey, that's how it goes, bro. You know what I mean? You get picked early, man, you're going to a bad team. But also, though, it's not completely indicative of success. Joe Burrow went to the Bengals. He's an MVP candidate. So going to a bad team doesn't always inhibit you from being successful because everybody who goes high went to a bad team. You know what I mean? So, now it can be detrimental for sure. But and also it's still too early to write the book on Caleb Williams and Bryce Young. It's still too early to completely put them on the bad side of that list. You know what I'm saying? Only 2 late window games. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, the scheduling this time of year is always weird, man. It definitely is. Yeah, it's always a weird schedule this time of year. My dog Tom said them Texas about to turn it on. Boy, y'all better do something. I'm telling you, boy, it's rough. My dog Keandre said Pat ain't threw a pick in a few games. He said they was at the floor, now they ready to play at the ceiling. Hey, hey man, if that's the case, man, y'all turning it on at the right time. RTC said, man, show his Chargers some love. Said everybody forgetting that Herbert only has 3 interceptions. So Lamar only has 4. Lamar has 40 touchdowns. Joe Burrow only has 5 or 6. He's also got 40 touchdowns. You know what I mean? And they both have 1,000 more pass yards. So, you know, like Justin Herbert's dropping 25 on a night that Lamar and Joe Burrow are dropping 40. You know what I mean? Like Scotty dropped 45. That was a great game for Scottie Pippen. Well, Michael went for 55. So it's like, yeah, you know what I mean? Let me see. Hey, still Justin can't get right Herbert. Hey, he's gonna have a chance, man. They locked up that playoff spot. He's gonna have a chance to redeem himself. Hey, my sentiments exactly, Keandre. Man, I've been saying this about Justin Herbert for about 4 years, man. He's got all the tools. Just can't get it right, man. Not when it's really time to. Not when the kitchen gets hottest, man. When the kitchen gets hottest, man, everybody's nervous. You a Chargers fan, you still nervous. Questioner say outside of the Chargers fans, nobody knows their receivers. Well, they don't have great ones. They're young, but Ladd McConkey's a stud. Ladd McConkey went for I think he just crossed 1,000 yards. He should be on the all rookie team. You know what I mean? Him and Brian Thomas Jr. would be my picks for the all rookie team. You know what I'm saying? As far as receivers go. So Ladd McConkey having a fantastic year. Oh man, my dog question. I just got caught up in the chat. Question said he got to run, man. Didn't even get to talk about the game, so he got to get out of here. Hey man, my bad, bro. My bad. Sometimes it be like that, man. Hey, I appreciate you coming through and holler at your dog as always, though, man. I definitely appreciate you. My dog Tom said it's a must. Yeah, oh yeah. Hey, if that's wild card weekend, man, we're gonna have to probably make that shake, man. We're gonna have to make that happen. All right, last one. Last one, and then we get into the games. All right. We done ran my dog NFL questionnaire off, man. He had to bounce. Okay. My dog Keandre gave us an all-time running back ranking. I love this type of stuff, man. I do these type of lists all the time. I've got a new one. I'm waiting for the off season, man. I got so much stuff planned for the off season. But let's see. Barry Walter, ED3. I like that. OJ4. I like that too. AD, my dog, AJ Peterson 5. I like that as well. Said these are the most dynamic running backs ever in his humble opinion. Now you got me thinking. I was thinking this is your 1 through 5. Or when you say most dynamic, does that just mean like you don't rank them like 1 through 5 in this order, or these are just like your 5 favorite running backs all the time? If that makes sense, like these just your 5 personal favorite, or do you rank them historically in this order 1 through 5? If that's the case, I like this list. I think it's a very respectable list. Barry at 1, nobody's going to argue with you there. Walter Payton at 2, I don't think anybody's going to argue with you there. Walter Payton's one of those guys where he's one of the guys I really wish I would have been able to like live in that era and see him with my own eyes. You know what I mean? Because the way like other backs, the way guys like Emmitt Smith or Barry Sanders and like the way that guys that got to see him talk about him and his greatness is like, man, we probably missed out on that one. But Walter 2, not mad at that. Eric Dickerson at 3, man. I like that. I like that look. I think ED doesn't get as much credit. I think on my own list, he's definitely top 10. I think he's like, I want to say he's like 6 or 7, but he's sniffing top 5. He's hanging out somewhere between 5 and 8 on my list. OJ Simpson as well. everything, whatever else you believe about whatever else. When the man played football, it was damn near unstoppable. 2,000 yards in 14 games. Y'all better quit playing. So I like OJ on this list as well. And Adrian Peterson is my favorite running back of all time. My personal favorite. Like Barry Sanders was my childhood. You know what I'm saying? Because Barry Sanders looked like he played freeze tag for a living. You know what I mean? And couldn't nobody catch him or touch him. So I definitely love, respect Barry Sanders. But like as a full, mature football fan and a person that watched and enjoys the game, like through my like mature life of watching football, Adrian Peterson was my guy, man. Adrian Peterson. For sure. So I'm not mad at that list. That's a strong list. Okay, that is his list 1 through 5 all time. Okay, I feel you. Okay, that's a solid list. That's a very solid list. And honestly, I mean, like, I don't have a problem with this list, bro. I'm trying to find a way to poke a hole in it. I think it's valid. I think there's an argument for. I think there's an argument for everybody that's on this list. You know what I mean? Adrian Peterson is our modern day Jim Brown. You know what I'm saying? He's the newer model. He's the newer model Jim Brown. I ain't mad at it that he's right there ahead of him. You know what I'm saying? Barry Sanders, you know what I'm saying? Walter, arguably the most complete back of all time. You know what I mean? I can't poke any holes in this. OJ Simpson and ED may be two of the best pure runners we've ever seen at the position. I can't poke any holes in that list, Keandre. I can't poke any holes in that list, dog. I ain't mad at that at all. Where does LaDainian Tomlinson fall? I'd be curious to know where LaDainian Tomlinson falls on your list. And then, depending on how you feel about Marshall Faulk, where does he fall? Marshall Faulk and LaDainian Tomlinson. I'm curious to know where you place them and Emmett. Matter of fact, Keandre, give me 5 more, man. Let me see the other 5. Finish out your top 10. I'm just curious now. I really like that top 5, though. I'm not mad at that top 5 at all. I can't hate on that top 5 at all, bro. All right, man. Look, we an hour in. My dog questionnaire said we ain't talked about any damn games, man. So we're gonna have to get to it. We already kind of recapped some of these games anyway. We talked about the Chiefs, you know what I'm saying, putting it on my Steelers. They did their thing, man. Pat showed up. It was Pat. Travis Kelce even turned back the clock a little bit. Looked like a weapon again for the first time in a long time. The Ravens flat out dominate the Texans 31-2 on a safety on Derrick Henry. The only points of the game for them. Let me see, man. Who else? Okay, we are going to have to talk about this Bengals and Broncos game that just happened last night. And this is a fantastic game. All right, good game, back and forth. Cincinnati wins this game in overtime, 30-24. Now, I also matter of fact, I was on the phone with my dog Chop while I was watching this game last night. Me and my dog Chop Price was on the phone for like 3 hours yesterday, talking football, man. It was like the good old days. We was watching this game together while we was talking ball. And so, one of the things in this game is something that I always talk about, and me and Chop, we went back and forth about this, being aggressive and going for the win. Playing to win, like going for the win versus playing to win, versus playing not to lose. This is a conversation I love having this conversation. You know what I mean? I always want to feel like I'm playing to win. You know what I mean? When Cincinnati took the lead in that game, 24 or 23 or 24, 17, whatever it was. I thought the game was over. It was like a minute and change left. Bo Nix, rookie, who knows? Bo Nix throws a, beautiful pass and catch to Marvin Mims in double coverage. That's a fantastic catch by Marvin Mims. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Oklahoma, man. Sooners. I see you, Marvin Mims. Fantastic catch in double coverage, contested. Holds on to it, goes to the ground. They catch that ball. It's 23-24. On the road against Joe Burrow. 40 touchdowns this year. He's set some style of record. 8 consecutive games with 250 yards and 3 touchdowns. He's broke that record. It's 8 now. He reestablished. The record was 7. He set the record as 8. There may not be a hotter quarterback in the NFL. Why are we playing for overtime, Sean Payton? Why? Go win that game right now. Go win that game right now, Sean Payton. All right? I like that those ones make sense. You're an underdog. You've got your rookie trying to duke it out with Joe Burrow. We just talked for an hour that he's arguably the MVP of the league. You're in his building, going back and forth trying to shoot it out with him. You get this miracle touchdown. The emotions are you're never going to have this. There's never going to be this much momentum, electricity, emotion. Everything is at its peak right now. Cash it in, man. Go for two. Going for two is not guaranteed. I understand. That's me and my dog Chato. It's not guaranteed. But playing for the tie doesn't guarantee a win either. A la what happened. Now it happens on the other side as well. Going for two, being too aggressive, Dan Campbell or whoever else, it doesn't always happen, but the destiny is in your own hands, dog. That's what always resonates most with me. We could win or lose this game either way. I want to hold the gun though. You know what I'm saying? I want to be behind the trigger, bro. If I'm going to win or lose, if I'm going to live or die my football life right now, I don't want to give him the gun and hope he misses. I want to have the gun and hope I hit. That's how I look at it. Go for two, man. Bo Nix came out and said, I think Bo Nix put up two on the field. Like, hey, let's do this, man. Let's go. I think he came out in the interview as well. Like, man, I want to go for two, bro. Like, hey, man, Bo Nix, I fooled with you, dog. Almost had me cussing on Sunday morning. I fools with you, Bo Nix. Come on, baby. Come on. Welcome home. This is where the winner's at, man. Play like a winner. Winners win. Give me the ball. Let's go get it. But they don't. They kick the field goal. They go to overtime. Now, it didn't necessarily bite them right in the ass off rip. They get a stop. They get a stop. 3 and out. They get the ball back. So, playing for that tie, it worked the way that you want it to work. You hope you get the ball and hope you go get a touchdown. You're not guaranteed. They didn't. Bengals got the ball. Now you need your defense to step up. And they did. They get a stop. They get the ball back. But they also go 3 and out. I hated the second down play, the little dump off in the flat, in the right flat. I don't know if it was a tunnel. I can't remember clear. But they don't do anything with it. So then you give the ball back to Joe Burrow and the Bengals a second time now. And then 2 T. Higgins plays later, there's your ball game. But like I said, man, I would much rather know we lost that game right there when we were in control. The game was in our hands. I want to lose it right. If I'm going to lose, I want to lose it right here. You know what I'm saying? That's just how I feel about it, man. But that was a fantastic game. That was a very exciting game, man. That was a fantastic throw by Bo Nix as well, man. Bo Nix has done so much to impress me this year, man. I wasn't high on him at all coming in. He was my QB6 coming into this draft. He was my QB6. I had him behind Drake May, and I wasn't a fan of Drake May, a big fan of Drake May either. But I had Drake May 5 and Bo Nix 6. So, yeah, man. Keandre came back with that list for me. Yeah, I like your 5, man. I had to see how the rest of that list played out. Jim Brown 6, Emmett 7, LT 8, Marshall 9, and C-Mac 10. Oh, no, man. Hey, no, don't do 10A, 10B. Hell no. C-Mac and Warrick Dunn, man. Warrick Dunn, I don't know if I've ever seen Warrick Dunn in a top 10 list. Respect. Warrick Dunn was getting off now. Allscott got all them touchdowns, but Warrick Dunn was nice, man. He had a nice run in Tampa Bay. I respect it. Who's missing from your list, though? It feels like maybe there's somebody we leaving out. Jim Brown, Emmett, LT, Marshall. Who we leaving out? You got OJ and ED in the first half of the list. You got AJ Pearson already. Who are we leaving out? It feels like there's somebody that we're leaving out, bruh. Maybe it'll come to me later. All right. NFL questionnaire, dog. I hate you missed it, man. I know it took us over an hour, and it's 11:11, man. Took us an hour and 11 minutes to get to the first game scheduled for today. But sometimes it be like that, man. New York on the road at Buffalo. Give me Buffalo in this one, 27-17. Aaron Rodgers needs one more touchdown pass for his 500th. And so I know Devontae Adams is they're definitely going to try to get that pass to Devontae Adams. I think Devontae came out and said, like, no, I want that one too. Devontae caught Aaron Rodgers 200th touchdown. He caught his 400th touchdown, and now he's likely, very likely, going to catch his 500th touchdown as well. So I think the Jets are going to come out in this game with or at least Aaron Rodgers in that offense. Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams, I should say, because Garrett Wilson ain't really feeling that offense right now. But they're going to come out there looking to score, man. They're going to be looking to score. Aaron Rodgers is on the precipice of some big hits, of some monumental history, man. That's a big number. 500 touchdowns. There's what? Is it 4 guys in that 500 touchdown club now? You know what I mean? Like, so, I mean, that's a very elite group. So look for him to do that. I'm looking for Buffalo and Big Josh to still win this game. They don't, or you know what? I take it back, because now that Kansas City won against Pittsburgh, they locked up that number 1 seed. And so had they lost, Buffalo was going to have a chance to play for that number 1 seed. But now with that number 1 seed being locked, and I believe Buffalo's locked in at 2. Yeah, Buffalo's locked in at 2 as well. So actually, Buffalo theoretically could probably rest, or they don't necessarily have to play everybody or play everybody this whole game. Or like I said, so I'm curious to see how this plays out actually. Or if the Jets come out fired up and they get out to an early lead, does Buffalo just pull the plug and say, you know what, man, look, we not gonna get in the way of a moving train, man. We can't do nothing but hurt ourselves anyway. You know what I mean? So I wonder how that'll play out. That's interesting. I just thought about that right now. I didn't think about it before, but that's interesting as well. I think the Jets are going to be coming out motivated to get that 500 touchdown pass, and Devontae Adams is going to be definitely looking to cook and put his name next to Rodgers in that history book. So we'll see how that plays out. Vegas on the road at New Orleans. And you know, I don't know if it was Questionnaire or RTC. We were talking about the Raiders winning a game. I've been gone I ain't seen y'all in so long. Last week or 2 weeks, however long it's been. But which was very surprising, cost themselves the number 1 seed. But now, do they do it again? Derek Carr, I believe, is still out. Spencer Rattler and not Tim Boyle. Spencer Rattler and whoever else at quarterback. It is on the road. That Saints defense definitely can be stingy. But I wonder if the Raiders, if they got another one in them, man. I wonder if the Raiders got another one in them. Maybe Antonio Pierce gets those Raiders good and fired up to stick it to Mark Davis one last time. Like, not only are you not getting a number 1 pick after you fired me, you're not getting a top 5 pick. Maybe Antonio Pierce gets this Raiders team to play itself out of a top 5 pick. I think they had been projected at 6 after that win. Most recently, yesterday, I saw them projected on CBS Sports or whatever. They were projected to still have a top 5 pick. They were projected at number 4. Another win would take them at the top 5. So I wonder if they get it done. And I think they may. I'm not going to lie to you. I think they may. 20-16, Las Vegas getting another win inexplicably on the road to further hurt their own draft stock. Antonio Pierce, man, leaving his mark before he may leave that building. My dog Keandre got some scores for me, man. He's got Buffalo 35-17. Okay. Now that's assuming they play this game. Because like I said, I think they're locked. Kansas City locked at number 1. They're locked in at number 2. And so as far as I know, there's not anything realistic to play for. You know what I mean? There's not really anything to play for. But I think I agree with you. I think I would imagine they do play this one, and maybe next week is when we really consider making sure everybody's healthy, not maybe not being too aggressive, and maybe they play it that way. But I think I'm with you, man. I think they will show up and try to play this one out. He's going 35-17. Also, he's got New Orleans 14-10. Yeah, I can see that. I'm a little off the reservation right now, pulling for the Raiders. Maybe I just want to see the drama of those Raiders winning when there's no reason to win as far as the organization is concerned. But no, that's very likely. 14-10 is actually a pretty realistic score as well in that outcome the other way. Let's see. Indianapolis on the road against the Giants. Give me Indianapolis 24-10. Talking to RTC in the chat earlier, I guess Indianapolis still may have some style of backdoor crazy mathematical equation that they may be able to get into the playoffs. And so you're saying there's a chance. If you're a Colts fan, My dog RTC is saying that there is a chance. All right, y'all still might make it. And so if that's the case, they still definitely got something to play for. Give me the and also the Giants. Giants are smarter than the Raiders. Giants ain't taking no chances. Giants ain't going out there winning this game. So yeah, give me Indianapolis with minimal resistance, 24-10. 24-10. My dog Keandre said he loves that score for the Indianapolis game. Guess he agrees with that one. Hey, yeah. I like that. I like to say I don't think the Giants are gonna pull a Raiders and cost themselves the number one pick. They're gonna lock in that number one pick. They'll do their homework, and then they'll have to decide, who they feel better about between Shadur and Cam Ward. But nah, they're going to get that number one pick. Dallas on the road against Philadelphia. Now, this is gonna be an interesting game. Oh man, I didn't even pick. I put the score. Now I can't remember who I had in the game. All right, RBT family. We had to talk this one through. I had this score 23-19. I can't remember which way I went with this one. And honestly, it can go either way. Philly's going to be without Jalen Hurts. So Kenny Pickett, the late, great Kenny Pickett, boy. Kenny Pickett's going to make his first official start. He played the bulk of that game against Washington last week, but he'll make his first official start of the season against the Cowboys at home. The Cowboys still playing with Cooper Rush. Now, CeeDee Lamb has been shut down for the season. He's on IR with a shoulder injury. And so they went ahead and shut CD down. He had a fantastic year, all things considered, especially statistically. And kudos to CeeDee Lamb for going out there and playing hard, bro. Went out there and played his ass off. Dallas Cowboys season has been over for about 2 months now, and he played hard. Same thing with Michael Parsons. Michael Parsons got injured to start this year. The season was over by the time he got back. He been busting ass. You can't tell that they don't have nothing to play for. So kudos to CeeDee Lamb and Michael Parsons, man, for both playing hard, maybe when there's not as much motivation to do so. But so this game is do I take the Cowboys on the road without CeeDee Lamb, or do I take the Eagles at home with Kenny Pickett? This is an ugly proposition either way. My dog Keandre said he'd take Philly 23-19. Hey, he said he'd rather have Mr. Pookie than Daniel Jones, bro. You and me both. You and me both, man. Hey, that's a fact. Hey, shout out to Pookie too, bro. That's a fact, bro. That is a fact. You know what, Keandre? I'm riding with you, dog. I'm riding with you. I'm gonna take Philly. And especially at home, you still got Saquon. Oh yeah, man, it's a big game for Saquon. Saquon would love to hit 2,000 yards in this game at home. And Dallas's defense it's up and down, to say the least. It's up and down, to say the least, especially the run defense. So Philadelphia, Saquon Barkley specifically, I definitely expect they'll lean on him heavily in this game with Kenny Pickett being the quarterback there. Being the quarterback to start. And, it's still a heated rivalry. You're at home, and he's chasing greatness. He's chasing 2,000 yards. So, no, I agree. Saquon's going to get this done today, man. And we'll see if Saquon cracks 2,000 today as well. That's why I'll be tuning into that one to see if Saquon hits that 2K. My dog Keandre said he trusts Dallas to Dallas. Boy, Dallas is going to Dallas every time. That's a fact. Dallas is going to Dallas every time, bro. You ain't never lied. Let's see. Carolina on the road at Tampa Bay. I'm taking Tampa Bay, man. Tampa Bay 27-24 in this one. This is a must-win game for Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay, they fought back. They reclaimed that division from the Falcons. Kirk Cousins playing horrible ball. You know what I mean? He gets set down. Penix comes in. They end up getting a win. Tampa Bay drops one. They lose that game. They lose against Dallas? Yeah, that was Dallas. They lose that game against Dallas and surrender that division back to Atlanta. And now they're playing catch up. So Atlanta swept the Buccaneers through the season series, and so they've got to trump the record. They've got to win and hope the Falcons lose out. They've got to win out and hope the Falcons lose out. So this is an absolute must-win for Big Baker Mayfield and those Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They are at home. The Panthers are playing a lot better. Bryce Young has made a real 180 in his playing performance of late. And so I do think that they are going to be more than competitive in this game, but I do give the edge to Tampa Bay because Tampa Bay is fighting for their playoff future. Carolina's is a good story, but Tampa Bay is fighting to keep the lights on. Carolina been living in the dark for a long time. Tampa Bay is fighting to keep their lights on, though. Now, also, Chuba Hubbard, had a breakout year, lead running back for the Panthers. They re-upped him a few weeks ago to a nice running back contract. Well, he's on IR now, bringing his season to an end. The top of the second round draft pick, Jonathan Brooks from Texas, the running back, he already is back on IR. He started the year on IR. I think he was able to appear in maybe 2 games, and then he tore his knee again, I believe. And so back on IR. Hate to hear that, man. That's terrible news. And so I'm not sure who's running the ball in Carolina right now. I don't know who's there. I remember Miles Sanders was there a couple years ago, but I don't know where he's at. He never really got going over there with them. And then he gets kind of disappeared or fell out the face. I don't know where he's at. So I don't know who's running the ball. And that run game in Carolina has definitely been integral to their recent competitiveness or success, for lack of a better word. So without Chuba Hubbard now, you're already down Jonathan Brooks. I don't know who the running back 3 is. So I think that may be a tougher game to win. And on the road against Tampa Bay, with Tampa Bay, like I said, fighting to keep their lights on and they building. So I'll go Tampa Bay in a tough, competitive, entertaining game. I think this is going to be an entertaining game. I'll go 27-24 Tampa Bay. Oh, my dog Keandre said he trusts Big Baker Mayfield to put up 30, to put 30 plus up. Yeah. Now that Panthers defense is coming around a little bit. They played a damn tough game against Philadelphia just 3 weeks ago. Went back and forth with Patrick Mahomes and your Chiefs as well. So they playing tough. J.C. Horn, corner that I love J.C. Horn coming out in the draft. J.C. Horn came in with Patrick Surtain. I think I had J.C. Horn 1, Patrick Surtain 2. Now J.C. Horn got injured right out the gate, and he's been injured predominantly for these his first 2 out of his first 4 years in the league. I think it's his 4th year, but he's relatively healthy. It has been for a while, for the bulk of this season, I believe, and he's playing good ball. And so him duking it out with Mike Evans chasing that 1,000 yards, trying to keep that streak alive. And so that's going to be an interesting matchup. It's going to be an interesting matchup for sure. Tennessee on the road at Jacksonville. Give me Jacksonville in this one. I think Mac Jones has done a decent job filling in for Trevor Lawrence for the Jaguars. And I think they got a win under Mac Jones, I want to say. Yeah, they got a win. I'm pretty sure they got a dub with Mac Jones at the helm as well. And so honestly, the thing about it is, you know what? I'm about to check something for us. I was about to check something for us if I can get this to work. I think Mac Jones and unless I'm tripping, were Mac Jones and Trevor Lawrence in the same draft class? Was that the same draft class? I think it was. I think that was Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, Justin Fields, and then Mac Jones in that same draft class, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, I believe so. But be that as it may, I think Mac Jones gets this done. Now Tennessee defensively, they're still pretty stout. T'Vondre Sweat is an animal. T'Vondre Sweat's having a very nice year. They've been up and down the quarterback position. I think Will Levis has been in and out of the lineup, replaced by Mason Rudolph. I'm not sure who's even in the lineup right now. I think Mason Rudolph had the last start, and I think Mason Rudolph's going to be starting again in this one. But I'll still take Jacksonville at home to get this done, 20-17. 2017. Let's see. Moving on. Miami on the road at Cleveland. Miami needs this one as well. Kind of like we talked about with Tampa Bay and Carolina. Miami's playing to keep the lights on. They've got some type of backdoor, super crazy mathematical equation in which they may be able to still make the playoffs if my dog RTC is telling me the truth. And so they need this one. It's a must win for them to keep their chances, their hopes alive, playing to keep the lights on in your building. So I think this is a must win for them. Jameis has been benched. DTR is going to start this game as well. The thing that worries me about this one, anytime we're past, like we're into November and beyond, and Miami's on the road in the elements, in the cold. There's always a chance that they just flat out cannot function or play football in those conditions. Now, I don't know what the weather's going to be like today in Cleveland. You know what I mean? But I do know it's up north. I do know it's outside. And I do know that my Steelers played there a month ago. It was a full-fledged blizzard. So who knows what the weather's going to be like in Cleveland. And so that's always concerning. And with that defense, Myles Garrett and the bunch, they can show up and they can be the turning factor. Myles Garrett can be the turning factor in this game, especially with Tua. Man, still being aggressive with his legs. God bless him. But if Myles Garrett is able to get home and wreck this game, that could be the difference, especially if Miami struggles, if there's any type of weather or cold or something, if that's a factor as well that plays into Cleveland's hands. But with DTR starting, I just don't realistically like the odds or like I just don't imagine that offense functioning. Say what you want to about Jameis Winston, but he was able to move the ball. He was able to score points. DTR hasn't shown me that he could do that. So I'll take Miami on the road to keep their playoff hopes alive at least one more week, 21-13. Hey, my dog Keandre said somebody hit that like button, man. Hey, yeah, somebody slipping, man. Somebody hit the like button for your dog, man. Come on now. Let's see. All right, next one up, man. Now, this is my game of the week. Green Bay on the road at Minnesota. This is a hell of a matchup, man. This is two damn good teams. I think these are two of the 5-6 best teams in the league. I think these are two of the top 6 teams in the league for sure. I'm not sure if I put both in the top 5 overall. No, two of the top 6, I think. Not in order, not exactly in order, but Detroit, Buffalo, Kansas City, Philly. Yeah, Green Bay. Now Baltimore. I've still put Baltimore in there. Baltimore, Green Bay, Minnesota. So yeah. So these are two of the top 6 or 7 teams in the league, I'd say for sure. So this is a heavyweight matchup. This is definitely a heavyweight matchup. I think the Packers are the Packers 11-4. I believe the Packers are 11-4, and I think the Vikings are 13-2. So I think as far as playoff seeding is concerned, I think the Vikings are pretty much locked into that 5 seed. Unless I think week 18 they play the Lions head up, or somebody help me if I'm wrong. I think they may have a game left against the Lions, and I think that might be week 18. And since the Lions lost to the Bills, if they both go into that game with 2 losses, then I think there's a chance the Vikings could get the number 1 seed. So they need this game. There's a lot riding on this game for them. Having the number 1 seed in your building for the Vikings, getting that week off, that's invaluable, especially in that NFC. My goodness. And so this is a big game for them. And then Green Bay as well. They're still fighting, man. I don't think they have a chance at that 5 seed. So they're locked in to either 6 or 7. And I think it's going to be 6. So yeah, I think they're locked into the 6 seed. I think they're locked into that 6 seed. But this is still going to be a very good game. I don't expect Green Bay or anybody to lay down in this one at all. I'm going with Minnesota at home to find a way to get this done. Jordan Love, you know I love you, big dog. You know I really appreciate it. I love Mr. Jordan Love. But Sam Darnold's having a damn good year. He's 2, 3, 4 weeks, however far they make it into the playoffs from making $40 million. Sam Darnold's going to get cashed out. You hear me? And so I think he's got a lot to play for as well, man. He's playing for 40 million big ones. And so he's got a lot of they've got a lot on the line for this. Not just for him personally, but for that team. Like I said, the first seed is still in play. I look for them to get this done in a very exciting game at home, 30-27. I can't wait to see that one. Man. That's gonna be a hell of a game. My dog Keandre said he's also taking Minnesota 30-21. Hey, Keandre, I'm glad you reminded me, dog. Yeah, man, I got to get my dog his stripes, man. I got to get my dog Keandre his wrench, man. It's going to be a wrench by your name, man. Matter of fact, this our last. Oh, man, hey, look at this, y'all. This is our last show of the year. This is our last show of 2024. It just hit me right now, man. Next time I see y'all, it'll be 2025. That's crazy, man. Shout out to the members, man. I appreciate y'all coming along for the journey. But, man, I tell you what, Keandre, I'm glad you reminded me, bro. 2025, man. Next time you comment in this chat, man, it's going to be a wrench by your name, dog. We're going to put them stripes on you, bro. I got you. Let's see. Sunday night, man. Atlanta on the road at Washington. This also, excited to see this game. I want to see Michael Penix duke it out with Jaden Daniels. You know what I mean? So 2 rookies. Jaden Daniels, rookie phenom of sorts. He had a fantastic start to this year for sure. Had a rough spell in the middle weeks, but then he's bounced back and put this team, put this team on his back and got them back into playoff contention. You know what I mean? Big come from behind win against the Eagles just last week, and so they're still playing. They're still fighting and still playing well. And then Atlanta is still in their own playoff fight. They had to win this game to keep Tampa Bay off their ass. You know what I mean? So they can't lay this one down. Michael Penix is making his second start now since replacing Kirk Cousins last week. Penix didn't throw a touchdown last week. Kyle Pitts bobbled a goal line reception that gets off his hands and gets intercepted. So Penix still hasn't thrown his first touchdown pass. And so I'm excited for this game, man. I think this could be an exciting game. I think this game also has the opportunity to be a higher scoring game. I've got Washington winning this game 24-20, but I wouldn't be surprised. We can add another touchdown to both of these scores. I wouldn't be surprised. If instead this was 31-27, I wouldn't be surprised at all. I think both these offenses are have the capability to score points. I think Washington's defense, though improved, is still susceptible, especially in the passing game. Now, they brought over Marcus Lattimore. He's just been on the field now. I think this is going to be his second game back. Last week against the Eagles, his first game, and A.J. Brown gave him fits. I love Marshawn Lattimore. Now, my dog Chop can tell y'all, big fan coming out of Ohio State, and was a big fan of his with the Saints in New Orleans for all these years. But A.J. Brown was out there eating his lunch, boy. Real talk. And so, there's a chance for, you know what? While I'm sitting there talking about it, why not? I'm putting another touchdown on both sides, man. I'm still taking Washington at home, 31-27. I think Washington's going to continue the momentum that they've built over these last 2 weeks, these last 2 games, or at least this last week for sure, that went over the Eagles. I think they keep that momentum going, and they are at home. Atlanta, I want to see Michael Penix do well, but honestly, y'all know how I'm riding. I predicted big bad Baker Mayfield and those Tampa Bay Buccaneers to win that division, to be the number 4 seed, and to maybe pull an upset wild card weekend in the 4-5 matchup. I need Big Baker Mayfield to come through for me in these playoffs, man. I need Big Baker Mayfield to make these playoffs, and if that's going to happen, I need Atlanta to lose. I'm taking Washington at the crib, and what I think is going to be an exciting game between 2 rookies, and I'm going Washington 31-27. My dog Keandre, hold on, I can't read. I can't, my eyes ain't as good as they used to. Let me put that on the big screen. My dog Keandre said he loves that score with Washington winning, but he wants to see Michael's performance more than expecting him to win. Okay. And I dig that. I dig that as well. At this point in the season, like I said, it's the end of the year. It's his second start. So more so than wins and losses, just seeing how he looks and performs just on its own. I dig that. I definitely dig that. But be that as it may, they still need to win this game. They in the playoff hunt. Right now, they in the playoffs as the 4 seed winning that division. They can't lose any games. They can't lose any games without losing control of their own playoff destiny. So these games are still must win for it's definitely a must win game for them for sure. Let me see. Where am I at? Oh, moving on, man. Monday night. Here we go. Monday night, Detroit at San Francisco. This point in the year, man, this is a game that to start the year, this would have been a fantastic Monday night football game. You know what I'm saying? But be that as it may, we are where we are. San Francisco definitely not having the year that many probably expected. And so I've got Detroit. Detroit's beat up, though. Detroit's beat up. They are going to be on the road. I do have them winning this game. I think it's going to be a little closer. I've got a 21-20 or 27-21 Detroit with this win, but I think San Francisco is going to put up a tough fight. I think they are. I think they've been they've been in the news, relatively speaking, for the wrong reasons. The Devondre Campbell situation. People are talking about Kyle Shanahan getting fired or getting traded to the Bears, or there's just been a lot of talk there. And so this is the type of atmosphere that good teams rally around and put out a strong performance to show we're not going to lay down. You still got guys that George Kittle's not going to lay down. You know what I mean? Brock Purdy's trying to get paid. Brock Purdy ain't laying down. You know what I'm saying? I believe Nick Bosa's going to be playing, he ain't laying down. He's going out there to put his body on Jared Goff if he can. So I think they'll have a strong showing at home. They are going to be without Trent Williams. He's shut down for the year. But like I said, I do expect them to still try to finish this year strong. But I do think it's not going to be enough. I do expect Detroit to get this done, man, to get this win and keep their own number one seed hopes alive as well. So let me make sure. Hey, that's it. That's all. We made it. NFL questionnaire. Hey, dog. I apologize, man. I know we got a late start on the games, but we had a lot of good conversation though today, man, this morning. So I appreciate that from everybody. We did make it through all the games though. We did make it all the way through. So appreciate y'all, man. And then I'm gonna shout out my members for sure. Oh, my Doc Keandre got a good comment, man. He said St. Brown, Golf, and that line are healthy, so everything else is gonna work itself out. I ain't mad at that. I ain't mad at that at all, man. I ain't mad at that. I ain't mad at that. They are without Jonathan, or excuse me, not they are without David Montgomery for the second week now. And so see how this second week goes with Jahmyr Gibbs. I said that like I love Jahmyr Gibbs too. I almost blanked on your name, homeboy. But yeah, Jahmyr Gibbs now his second week carrying that running back load, himself without his partner in crime, David Montgomery. And then I think also Dan Campbell came out. They asked him because they're playing Monday night. So let's say if Minnesota loses, or if the Eagles lose, or if they both lose, if they'll start resting players, especially as injured and beat up as they've been. Like, will they start resting players, that sort of thing? And Dan Campbell shut all that down. He said, "Look, I don't give a damn who does what, when, or where. We're showing up. Everybody's gonna play, and we're gonna play to win." You know what I mean? So he already put that to bed as far as the potential for resting any players, regardless of what happens today for their game Monday night. So shout out to Dan Campbell in those lines for sure. But yeah, no, hey man, we came, we saw, we conquered, man. That's it. That's all. Shout out to the members, man. Shout out to the members. Man, my dog Keandre, man, hold me down, man. I appreciate you, homeboy. Moms is in the building as well. Appreciate you, lady. My dog Miles came through, hollered at me. My dog Chance came through, hollered at me, man. I appreciate that. My dog Terrible Time holding it down for them Houston Texans. He came through, hollered at your dog as well, man. I appreciate it. Man, my dog questionnaire. Hey, man, questionnaire, man. My bad, dog. My bad, man. We got carried away, man. But we had good conversation this morning, man. I hate you had to miss when we actually got into the games, man. I know you always give a lot of good feedback and score predictions when we talk about the actual games that are slated for the day. But hey, appreciate you coming through as always, man. My dog RTC was in the building holding it down for his Chargers, man. No, Justin Herbert's he's having a very good year. He is. Like I said, I know we like to have a little fun at his expense, but he's definitely having a great year. Shout out to Jim Harbaugh as well. His first year back in the league with this team, we can't forget they traded away the biggest stars on that team outside of Herbert. You trade away your top two receivers and your top running back. Austin Eckler, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams all leave that building. You bring in a rookie receiver from Georgia in the second round, and then you try to build on that with Quentin Johnston, who people were calling a bust just after his rookie year. He takes that roster, rebuilds it, new offense, and they are a playoff team in year one, 10-win playoff team. So kudos and shout out to Jim Harbaugh, man, for really doing a fantastic job there in San Diego. Who else is in the building, man? Creeko was in the building. I know I seen your name, homeboy. Who else am I missing? I know my dog Chance came by as well, man. Appreciate your homeboy. And man, I'm looking for the rest of y'all. Did I shout out my dog Miles? I think I did. I'm looking for the rest of y'all. Damn. Y'all know what time it is. Say the same thing every week. Feel free to say it with me at home. If I forgot to say your name, damn, my bad. But charge it to my head and don't charge it to my heart. You know I'm thinking about you, big dog. Appreciate all the love support as always, man. Like I was just talking about a second ago when I was talking to Keandre and just realized this is the last show of 2024, people. This is our last live of 2024. This is a fantastic year. Fantastic year for me, man. I really enjoyed it. Like I said, starting fresh, starting on my own, you know what I mean? So getting this one up and running, trying to get back to, you know what I mean? Trying to get back, not only get back to where I was previously, but trying to get past that, man. And so this is a very big year for me, man. Start from scratch, just starting right out the mud, man. And well, I think we up to 60. We just shy of 70 followers. Shout out to all 70 of y'all. You know what I mean? Do your dog a favor, man. Tell a friend to tell a friend and all of that. But no, really appreciate y'all, man, rocking with your boy, man. There's more to come. I can't wait to really get into these playoffs for sure. I can't wait. I'm already excited for draft season, man. I really love the draft. I hope y'all enjoy that, man. I've got a lot of content I got planned for that, man, when the time comes. And so appreciate that. My dog Keandre in this thing as well, man. It's some boxing to talk about too, man. We ain't even talk about Fury and Usyk. We ain't even talk about Fury and Usyk yet, Keandre. We got Better Biev and Bivol rematch coming up in February. You know what I'm saying? We're still waiting on an announcement to see what happens with Bud Crawford and Canelo, or how that finally plays out. So we've got some good boxing this coming up, and other things as well that we'll be able to talk about as well. Shout out to my dog RTC, man. He had a little bit of basketball chat in here. I told him I can't even watch the basketball until after the All-Star break. And then, you know what I'm saying, and then closer to the playoffs anyway, man. But there'll be time enough for that as well down the road, man. But right now, it's full-fledged football season right now, so I'm all in there. But nah, hey, man, definitely appreciate all y'all rocking with your dog, man. Can't say that enough. Until next time, man. Until next time, we'll be back on Wednesday for sure. Make sure you tap in with your dog at Wednesday night. But other than that, it's about a quarter till. It's about quarter till. That means you got 15 minutes. You got 15 minutes. Tell the wife and kids to find something to do to get out your way. You find your favorite spot on your favorite couch. You get your favorite adult beverage. You put it in your favorite hand. You turn your favorite team on your favorite TV, and you enjoy your football Sunday, big dog. All right? Now, other than that, man, y'all have fun. Y'all be safe, man. I hope y'all had a wonderful holiday season as well. Can't forget that, man. Like I said, I won't see any of y'all until next week, 2024. So y'all have fun and be safe for New Year's as well. Appreciate all the love. Until next year, peace.